But yeah, over all of that time, I would say I have learned a lot, which translates very well into the next part of the video, which is what have I learned? In all of that time being natural, I have learned many things. I've also learned that some of the things the natural community was saying were not things that I need to live by anymore. I have a list here to make sure I stay on topic. I will be staying with the list. So we will go with the number one thing on my do list, because I wrote this up in do's and don'ts because of course. Do. Detangle before you wash. If you became natural after having a relaxer, meaning you never had your natural hair, or in your adult life, teenage life, whatever, didn't deal in person with your natural hair, didn't have a mom who had natural hair, because like we now live in a world where that's not true, right? My little niece is 13 and she's never had a relaxer, and her mother's a hairstylist who knows how to do natural hair. So her hair has always been well cared for, and she grew up learning about how to care for her hair. So not talking about people like that. I'm talking to the people like me who had relaxed hair for most of their formative years and then went natural and then had to learn how to do their hair all over again. If you're one of those people, then you probably have experienced the shift that happens specifically when you wash your hair. Styling is obvious. That we all knew going into this that we would have to style our hair differently. Washing your hair though, it's like, I didn't really think about that. But yeah, it makes sense that I can't just take the same stuff that I've been doing to my relaxed hair and do it to this. Cue me getting in the shower, throwing shampoo all over my head like I always used to, doing one of these numbers, and then getting out of the shower and being like, what have I done? So what I learned, detangle before you get in the shower. Don't wash it, detangle it first. So wherever you do that, whether it's in the shower, out the shower, whatever makes you happy, because some people may just like to sit in front of their TV, detangle their hair real quick, and then jump in the shower. Whatever makes you happy. But please do not, if you have like a 4 and on curl pattern, 4A, B, C's, for us specifically, I would say this is critical. Jump in the shower with old tangled hair and throw shampoo on that thing. You may as well shave your head after you do that, because your hair is going to be literally the texture and dryness of your carpet. Nothing is going to touch how badly you've tangled that hair. It is just time at this point. It's like undoing a dreadlock. You just have to commit. Now you sit here for hours and detangle the mess you've made. Oh my gosh, and what a mess it was. And you'd think that it would only take the one time, but I have unfortunately had to learn that lesson many times. It was just awful. It was just, anyway. Yeah, so all of that to say, don't do that. Don't do that. Just don't. Detangle your hair first. Before you get in the shower, use a pre-poo, use a conditioner. I actually have stepped up my game now, and I use a straight up hair mask by Shea Moisture, because it's the only thing thick and slippy enough to really penetrate my super tangled hair when I let it get that bad. And then it's great because your hair is both deep conditioning, mask treatmenting, and getting detangled all at the same time. And if you're really fancy, you'll add in the steam thing that I don't do anymore. I even have the Q-Redo steamy finger thing that was so popular for a minute there, and I figured the steam from the shower is good enough. I'm very lazy with my hair these days, but I can be because I know how to do it. So that's number one, and I'm put that as number one because it is so, so critical. I mean, it's the difference between having a 30-minute wash day and a 5-hour wash day. Detangle your hair first. The other part of that I've learned, because this is all kind of speaking on shampooing, is I only shampoo my roots now. And it's even better because of the shampoo I use. It's the Melanin Hair Care shampoo, and I'll throw a picture up here, but it has a little nozzle on the top, like a dye applicator bottle. So once my hair is detangled, I have it in these big jumbo, I call them my shower twists. They're very, not nice parts, jumbo, loose twists that I put my hair into after it's detangled. It has the mask on it at this point, so it's also hydrated. After I'm done, I take that shampoo with the little nozzle and I just stick the nozzle in each twist's base and then run it over the parts so that I get shampoo everywhere. But it's so easy to just into that part because you have this little nozzle. I found that like with pump bottles and squeeze bottles, like I have all this product on my hand, but then getting it into the twists roots was kind of difficult. So this is the only shampoo I use now. It's largely to do with the bottle that it comes in. So I get that all in there, scrub, 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 then rinse it out. All the while my hair stays in those twists with the mask on it, keeping it detangled and hydrated so the shampoo can't get at it, dry it out, and wrap it all around itself anymore. Then once I'm done with that, I rinse out the shampoo and I use like the massager detachable shower head situation to really get it all out of the roots. Then once my hair is clear of shampoo, I take out the twists and then rinse out the mask. But I really try to keep shampoo away from my ends. This is especially important if your hair is color treated because child, that thing is already so dry. Do not add more dryness to it. I don't even, and I don't care. I'm sure there's a better method. I'm sure people are going to be like, oh, but you have to cleanse your hair sometimes. Nope. This is what works for me. This is what's quick. I have to be pragmatic about this. What can I get done? This is what I can get done. It may not be perfect. It might not be the healthiest thing in the world, but it works. And it means that I actually wash my hair every week to 2 weeks now rather than leaving it forever because I'm dreading having to spend 5 hours detangling it and thus making it worse as a result. So this is what I do. It works for me. And I would highly recommend it if you have very, very, very tightly curled hair. Especially as your hair gets longer, it's even more important that you keep it detangled because it's just more hair that can tangle in itself, you know? Next on my list, use heat. This is a huge one because this is like a rule that the natural hair community was like, if you use heat, you're not natural. I mean, I don't know if anyone was actually saying that, but you know, we all went natural. A lot of us had like insane amounts of trauma from poor use of heat tools, poor use of straightening tools, hot combs, things like that. Like we were traumatized. There's really no nice way to put it. We were all collectively traumatized from how poorly our hair care was handled prior to going natural. So we wanted to clean slate it and do it right. And that meant for a lot of us, no heat tools. For myself personally, I was low-key addicted to my straightener. Like I would get up every day, straighten my hair. I was so like just perfectionist, detail-oriented about it that I probably did more damage than good. I mean, I definitely did more damage than good because of how much heat I was applying on my hair on a regular basis. But that doesn't mean heat bad. That amount of heat bad, right? 450 degrees of I'm cooking, you know, a pork chop in my oven heat every single day on your tiny little weak baby hairs that are already damaged beyond belief because they're the baby hairs that frame your face and they're being relaxed once a month and color treated all the time. Like, yeah, that heat is bad. If I did that to my hair today, it would break off. But heat, not bad. Heat by itself, not bad. Low heat, you know, low to medium heat on a blow dryer on your hair once or twice a week, or once, more in my case, it's like once every week to 2 weeks. That's fine. That's totally okay. Silk pressing your hair every few months for a special occasion, or if you silk press your hair all the time and you just stretch your silk press out in between by using flexi rods and different things so that you're not having to use heat all the time, also good, also fine. You are allowed to use heat on your hair. It's the same thing as color. Like your hair is healthier now. By nature, natural hair is healthier than relaxed hair. You're not chemically processing it. That opens up the world of things that you can do to your hair. The Reverse has blown this wide open for me too, because the Reverse takes less time and is low tension, and those are really big. I mean, takes less time means it's more realistic that I'm actually going to blow dry my hair, because I had blow dried my hair before when I was natural just to give it a trim or whatever, but it took me, I'm not joking, probably 5 hours the first time I did it. I think that was a combination of things, like I didn't know how to do it, I wasn't using the right products and tools, and one of those tools was the blow dryer. Also, don't forget your heat protectant. Do not forget your heat protectant, please. Please, if you take nothing else from this video, don't forget your heat protectant, okay? You need that. It's good for you. It protects your hair. I don't know about y'all, but I never used heat protectant. So let's add that to the list of things I was doing poorly to my hair. I was relaxing it, at times bleaching it multiple times, like double processing, triple if you count the relaxer, right? And then no heat protectant, no oils, no nothing, no hydration products in it. Like, I'm telling you, it is a miracle there was still hair on my head. So if my hair can take that, it can take a blow dry. Another thing on my do list is trim regularly. It's so huge. Trimming your hair is it's so necessary. I mean, if you're talking about you want to grow your hair out and you have a split end, let's just imagine that this is your hair strand, right? And at the bottom it starts to split. So now you have this separation happening. If you leave that on your head, it will eventually, and I'm a testament to this, just, all the way up that strand of hair. I had that happen that time I mentioned in my last video when I braided up my hair. I had it in protective styles for I think a year. I grew probably 2 to 4 inches of hair. I mean, it was a lot of hair that grew in because I finally was actually not doing anything to my hair for once. And then I took it off, went back to my old, nonsense that I was doing, just back on my straightening it every day and dyeing the crap out of it stint. And what happened? It all broke off. It might as well have not even been there for how short it ended up being. I remember I could grab my hair and look at the bottom of it and it was just all split ends. Like all of it was split ends. It was ridiculous. So trim your hair, please. Those of you who are holding on to those little like dusty ends, like get rid of them. Your hair will be back there in a month and it'll look better. I'm just talking about a little tss of the ends. I try to do that. I'm not that great about it, but I do try to do it at least every 3 to 6 months just to give my hair a fresh start, especially as my hair is longer now. I don't want to keep those dead ends on my hair and then continue to try and grow it out. Like I'm not cutting it and to maintain a style like bangs or layers or anything. So if I don't cut it, it like never gets that fresh end feeling. And I can tell you, having just trimmed my hair, you can tell the difference. Deep condition. This is another thing I literally never did. I was the queen of never deep conditioning. I just hated it. And the deep conditioners of the time were not great. They were really hard to get out of your hair. Some of them had like grit and things in them just that made them even harder to get out of your hair. It was just, no. It's just one of those things that like, if you're already in the shower washing your hair, you're like, oh crap, I should deep condition, but it's like too late. So it's something I've started to incorporate. Like I said, I cheat and I use the mask to detangle my hair, which the way I see it between that and then the heat from my shower, like while I'm washing my body, it's kind of sort of deep conditioning my hair, so I kind of figure that's better than nothing. So if you can find a this is better than nothing kind of solution that works for you, you're winning. Just do something. I mean, it just helps. Your hair needs that deposit, that deep conditioning deposit of conditioner and hydration every once in a while, especially again, if you're like me and you're color treating. You can probably get away without it if you're not. This doesn't really track with everything else I've said, but at the end of all of that, I am saying keep it simple. Something I do, I am sure I'm not the only one like this, is I'm a bit of a goo hoarder. I'm a bit of a product overbuyer, overhaver, overkeeper, hoarder, perhaps. I definitely have too many products. I don't use all of them. I should purge, but all of that to say, keep it simple. Figure out what products work for what styles and use those products for those styles. You don't need every single product all the time. This is a perfect example of when I was just trying to do this hair last night. I sat down and I pulled out what I usually use, which is a leave-in conditioner, a hair oil, 2 heat protectants, and then I think I pulled out a mousse. Oh yeah, the setting lotion, which is what I actually ended up using. I used Miss Jessie's setting lotion, which very, very nice. I used the Pillow Soft Curls one. I'm linking everything that I'm saying, that I'm talking about in the description box in case you're curious about what products I use and what products I've used in the past and what products I like. I'm linking a lot of stuff down below. But Miss Jessie's Pillow Soft Curls setting lotion, so good. So good. They actually are pillow soft, guys. Wow. So honestly, under Keep It Simple, I wrote 2 to 3. Depending on what kind of style you're doing, I guarantee you there are 2 to 3 products that will slay that style, potentially all from one line. It's way easier to look at buying like a collection when you're talking about 2 or 3 products, right? Use that and stop. Unless you have a crying need for multiple products, you can probably use more of one thing or more of another thing and make up for that. You don't need 17 different products for every style. And honestly, it's going to weigh your hair down and make your hair feel greasy and oily. And like I said, that cakey, flaky dandruff feeling, that crunchy stuff's falling out of my hair kind of feeling tends to be because you overproduct. So keep it simple. 3 products. That's all you need. And I'm telling you as somebody with the driest, most needy hair in the world that my hair only needs that many products. It's all about when you put them on, like in what order is more important, and how much you use. Now we're at the fun part, the don't list. It's very short, I promise. Don't detangle without conditioner. Just like, don't ever take a brush to your hair with nothing in it, basically. This is more what I'm saying here. I have been to many a salon where they're like, oh, you want your hair blow dried? Well, here I come with this round brush or this paddle brush, and my hair's like bone dry, both like in terms of it's not moisturized and also in terms of it's not wet prior, which is another thing, like wet your hair. Spray bottle, that also helps. Use a spray bottle. I use like an aloe vera water mixture sometimes. Just water also works fine. And conditioner, oftentimes. You want both. So don't come at me with no paddle brush or round brush when my hair is like this. This is healthy. I just took this down. It's moisturized and fluffy and not tangled. And still, if you did that with a brush, it would be stuck in there forever. That thing would never come out. That is the worst idea ever. Every natural probably knows this one, but I felt it was worth mentioning. If you're newly natural, or just new to taking care of your own hair and you have hair like mine, trust me, child, do not. Just don't do it. Nike, just don't. Next thing I would say is don't blow dry with a brush. This is similar to the first one, but you wouldn't use conditioner in this situation because this situation you have washed your hair, you're not putting more product on in order to detangle your hair. Hypothetically, your hair is already detangled, but now you're blow drying your hair. I say don't use a blow dryer with a brush. I'm specifically talking about those round brush blow dryers, like the Revlon one that I reviewed in this video. I will put on the screen somewhere. Or like a ceramic brush situation. With my hair texture, so like 4s and on, you really don't want to go in on your hair with those first, unless you're talking about like the pattern wide tooth brush attachment, comb attachment, or Dyson, I think, has a really great comb attachment, but it's just easier to do it this way, in my opinion, which is why the Revere works so well. When I'm blow drying my hair with a traditional blow dryer, what I will do is I will first gather up, I'm not grabbing a realistic section here, but, gather up however much of the hair that I would like to blow dry. So let's say hypothetically, I'm trying to do this little section right here, right? So I would gather up this hair. I would pull it taut. So I'm pulling it with my hand out from my scalp so that the hair is staying straight. Then I take my blow dryer in my other hand and I go over it with the cone attachment, ideally. So not like no cone, no nozzle, it's just like air. You really want like that concentrated heat coming out of a cone attachment. Go up and down the hair like that with hot air, warm air to kind of get the curl out of it. Then once it starts to like stay stretched on its own, it's not springing back every single time you let go of it, now you go in with your comb. Because if you go in with a comb attachment and your hair is still super curly and springing back to your head and shrinking up every time you let go of it, you're just creating frizz. You're just pulling out pieces of hair. You're just creating tension. It's just not worth it. In my opinion, don't do it. Even if you have one of those nice blow dryers, I probably still wouldn't do it. Just get your hair stretched first, and then once it's holding in its stretched pattern, now you can start running your comb through it. It just creates less tugging and pulling. Thing is, do not do protective styles that are high tension. I think a lot of us learned this in our box braids era. Braids that pull so tight that you're getting like a brow face lift from how tight they are probably not good for you. It just creates tension around the very fine, delicate hairs that frame your face and rips them out. I mean, our hair is very fine. Our hair strands are thin. So you try pulling on that thin strand, it's going to snap. It's really easy to break. So you don't want high tension. You just want to be gentle, just gentle all of the time. I'm very tender-headed, so this is a very easy thing for me to remember. If I tug hard enough that it hurts, I'm probably pulling too hard. So that works for styles too. If something's giving you a headache, your ponytail's so tight that you can't even think straight, you probably need to loosen that thing up because it's not doing anything except ripping your hair out. And that's where you get like my hairline is receding because I get weaves where my braids were braided too tight situations. That's where all that comes from, is your hair is just too tightly tugged on. So low tension is your friend. Low tension with blow drying, low tension with styles. You know, it doesn't mean you can't do certain styles, but I would just kind of use gel more so than tightness to get your hair in that position, and maybe be okay with a little bit like of a body wave situation happening. You know, if you don't pull it all the way back so that it's straight, but maybe it's got a little bit of a wave going, like that's okay. You know, it doesn't need to be pulled so tight that you can't see. You need to have hair when the style is over. That's more important. Definitely stay away from high tension. It is just not your friend. Our hair is so delicate. It is very, very delicate. You have to be gentle with it. You have to speak nicely to it. You know, you come in real close and go like, hey baby, how you doing today? You have a good day? And speak gentle, kind words of affirmation to it. And then it'll love you back. Well, that is everything. That is all of my things I've learned in 10 years of being natural. I also got to take you through a little bit of what my natural experience looked like. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.